Indiana Fever waived Kyra Maxwell.
Thank you for your service, Kyra Lambert. Thank you so much.
Like Caitlin Clark could be returning this week after all.
Indiana Fever have officially released Kyra Lambert, a guard from overseas who Stephanie White signed on a trust me bro recommendation.
According to the WNBA transactions page, the Indiana Fever released Kyra Lambert.
Caitlin Clark return is sooner rather than later.
Breaking information from Indiana. The Fever have officially eliminated the most useless player from their roster, and supporters are certain that this will pave the way for Caitlin Clark's eagerly anticipated comeback. The countdown to Clark's return may have just started, so please leave a 100% positive comment if you support her.
According to the WNBA transactions page, the Indiana Fever released Kyra Lambert. So if that is indeed the end of Kyra Lambert's Indiana Fever tenure, it did not last very long. It was just last week we were figuring out who Kyra Lambert was and what her signing meant for the team.
The Indiana Fever finally took the action its supporters had been anticipating. Kyra Lambert, a player whose brief tenure with the squad is regarded as one of the most senseless acquisitions in recent memory, was let go.
Kyra Lambert. They didn't even give Kyra Lambert a page on the WNBA website. I'm not joking. You type in WNBA.com and you look at the Fever's last game. Maybe they updated it because she actually saw the floor. Fever versus Connecticut. Kyra Lambert played a grand total of 4 seconds.
Despite having a brief contract, Lambert hardly ever saw the floor. She actually played a grand total of only 4 seconds over the course of 2 games. Yes, exactly. 4 seconds of game time, not 4 minutes.
The team needed wing depth. Madison Scott was available and you chose Kyra Lambert instead. Madison Scott's playing good minutes for the Dallas or for the Washington Mystics. There are wings available. Like at this stage in the year, you can make the argument that they lost the Washington Mystics game because they went to sign a player who had no right to be who had no reasoning to be at the WNBA level.
Fans immediately started to wonder why she had ever been signed. Following the death of Sophie Cunningham, the Fever required depth at the wing. However, the front management brought in Lambert, a guard who never seemed like a true fit at this level, rather than a competent scorer or rebounder.
Kyra Lambert doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. She doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Like, what are we doing? I know she played for Olympiacos. Like, the Indiana Fever, I kid you not, the Fever themselves didn't even get... In their Fever signed Kyra Lambert to a 7-day post, they didn't even get it correct. They put the wrong points per game average. They couldn't even find her points per game.
At best, her statistics abroad were mediocre. Additionally, when the Fever announced the signing, they posted inaccurate numbers regarding her. Her performance was literally exaggerated.
They said she averaged 15.4 points per game. She averaged 8.2 points per game. They said she shot 42% from beyond the arc. She shot 20% from beyond the arc. They say she was named Euro Cup Guard of the Year. Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Fans were aware that it was clumsy and desperate.
So the Indiana Fever waived Kyra Maxwell and she didn't even get a thank you post. She didn't even get a thank you post from the Indiana Fever. They didn't even get a thank you, Kyra Maxwell. Didn't get a thank you post.
The most striking aspect is that they didn't even bother to post a thank you note when the Fever announced her release. No gratitude, no parting image, simply gone. That quiet said a lot.
That across 2 games, she got literally minus 1 minute, told me she wasn't going to work out. They used her in practice and wasn't a good fit.
Many others found it to be confirmation of their own beliefs. Lambert was never considered a viable addition to this roster. She was merely a stopgap, someone to temporarily fill a uniform. She's gone now.
A lot of people are celebrating this because they think that Caitlin Clark's coming back. They think that this means Caitlin Clark coming back and it means it's almost time.
Fans are cheering this cut because of what it stands for, not because of Lambert personally. It demonstrates that the Fever is over, as players who don't contribute are wasting time. Most significantly, it makes room for Caitlin Clark, the player who really does, to return.
The first thing that came to a lot of people's mind was, could this pave the way for Caitlin Clark's return?
Let's now discuss why fans are giddy with anticipation about this roster cut, because eliminating a player who didn't belong isn't the only goal. It concerns the implications of this choice for Caitlin Clark's comeback.
Under the hardship rules, as that it has been, put out there and publicized, the Fever only had to release one of the 2 players between Odyssey Sims and Kyra Lambert once Caitlin Clark was back. But one of them was going to have to go once they picked up two players. Clearly, Odyssey Sims has played herself into more of a role for the Fever.
This is the truth. The Fever had to make a decision once Clark was well enough to return to the active roster in accordance with WNBA hardship guidelines.
The fact that across 2 games, she got literally minus 1 minute told me she wasn't going to work out. They used her in practice and wasn't a good fit. On to the next. I don't think this actually correlates to CeCe's return.
They added 2 hardship players while she was away, but they were unable to maintain them. In essence, Kira Lambert and Odyssey Sims were fighting for their lives, and they weren't even close.
Sims has played herself into more of a role for the Fever. She got a bunch of minutes in the game on Sunday, 42 minutes for Sims. Lambert didn't play, right? So
Sims has demonstrated her ability to contribute at this level, played significant minutes, and established her worth in crucial moments. Lambert, however, barely made contact with the ground. She was the obvious cut because of that, and she is no longer there.
They signed her and they were able to get rid of her now because they're not playing in any games for 4 days. That's my assumption. My assumption is that the Indiana Fever have a big spell, well, a big break, and that there's no point in keeping her under contract because they weren't going to re-sign her for a second 7 days.
This move's timing is also important. The crew noted that Caitlin's fever-free journey on their most recent road trip was a component of her rehabilitation. She has been remaining at home, strengthening herself, conditioning, and getting ready for gameplay.
it was reported on the ESPN broadcast that Clark, the hope was she would return to practice this week with target dates the 22nd, 24th, 26th, those games being thrown out as potential return dates.
Everyone has been affected by her absence. The offensive of the Fever hasn't been reliable. The team hasn't been as motivated. And without her nightly highlights taking over social media, the league as a whole has been more subdued.
That's the kind of win, if I'm CC, that I watch and say, I got to get back out there. Like, nothing can stop me from rejoining this team this season. That fight that they showed out on the court.
This roster adjustment feels like a turning moment since everything changes now that Clark is back.
Saying Caitlin's coming back. I think Caitlin's coming back this season. I would be shocked if she doesn't at this stage.
Let's start by discussing the Fever. Indiana has had to make do without Caitlin, mainly depending on Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and whatever else could step up on any given night.
So the rankings has been released. So as you guys can see here, the Fever is currently moved back to 6th. They had dropped over the weekend to 7th, but they moved back to 6th, which lead me to believe Caitlin Clark.
They have hardly survived, but they have. The results speak for themselves, attempting to gain momentum before to the postseason while holding on to 6th position in the playoff picture.
Good time. They're doing fine without her right now. They're surviving. Let it keep going that way and let her get all the rest she needs, because we're going to need Caitlin Clark big time in the playoffs.
But for this crew, survival is insufficient. Indiana's attack opens up in a way that no other player can when Clark is in charge. Her passing improves teammates, her deep shooting pushes defenders, and her leadership instills confidence when it counts most. She turns the Fever into a genuine threat rather than merely filling out a stat sheet.
That's the kind of win, if I'm CC, that I watch and say, I got to get back out there. Like, nothing can stop me from rejoining this team this season. That fight that they showed out on the court.
The larger image comes next. The playoffs are almost approaching, and everyone is aware that basketball in the postseason is a completely other animal. Every possession matters, the scouting titans increase, and the physicality increases. Caitlin needs genuine game reps to regain her rhythm, so getting her back just before the playoffs is essential.
I think this is telling us Caitlin Clark's coming back. It ain't too many people left they could sign, bro. It ain't too many people left that they could sign. I ain't gonna hold you. Not too many people left on the market, bro.
After weeks off, you can't expect someone to jump right into playoff intensity. Fans and analysts agree because of this. The ideal amount of time to ramp up is 2 or 3 regular season games. Enough time to allow her to recover from the rest. There isn't much time to chance making things worse. Not to mention Sophie Cunningham's injury predicament.
I don't think she should come back against the Lynx, bro. That's just me. That's a tough game. It's going to be putting a lot of pressure on her. Maybe come back Seattle. Sparks even going to be a tough one. Really, the next couple ones going to be a tough one. I ain't going to hold you.
The Fever lose not just a starter, but also a vital emotional component as her future this season is unknown. Clark's presence is therefore considerably more crucial. She isn't merely covering a void.
The Indiana Fever have been playing through the 2025 season under head coach Stephanie White. Indiana is led by Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, and several other stars.
She is taking over as the team's captain, motivator, and player who can sustain this camaraderie. She is the player who can make the difference with a single shot or a well-timed assist when games seem to be slipping away.
The Fever guard signed a hardship contract with Indiana and wound up getting released just days later. After not seeing any time on the floor in their most recent matchup, she was cut.
The thrill extends beyond Indiana as well. Every time Clark performs, arenas are crowded throughout the league. When she's in town, ticket prices soar, and when she's performing, TV ratings rise. Her comeback is more than simply a Fever boost. It's shocking for the WNBA as a whole.
I did say when she went down and this period of time started to get longer and longer and longer and longer, by the time she's cleared, if we're in a playoff spot, let's bring her back.
The player who makes the biggest difference. There is hope with Caitlin Clark's return. It's an indication of eagerness. Additionally, it indicates that the league's face will be leading the Indiana Fever as they prepare to enter the playoffs.
A possible patella dislocation. Those are the diagnoses he runs through there, or potential ones. I will link his video in the description for anybody who wants to watch the entire thing.
It's an obvious message. Kira Lambert's release demonstrates that the Indiana Fever are done wasting time. Fans are now certain that Caitlin Clark's comeback is real after this move. It's true. It's close and has the potential to completely change the playoff landscape.
It could be, man. We'll see. We'll see. This could absolutely be the return. But we see that people are excited. People are jovial about what's going on with Caitlin Clark, what's going on with this roster.
Caitlin isn't simply returning to play. She is returning to assume control. She makes the difference between a squad that is poised to surprise the league and one that is just clinging on. Every opposing team secretly knows it, as do the Fever and their supporters. The countdown to Caitlin Clark's return has officially started, so fasten your seatbelt. Tell the world that you support Caitlin by leaving a 100% in the comments if you think she's going to light up the league once more.
Indiana Fever waived Kyra Maxwell.
Thank you for your service, Kyra Lambert. Thank you so much.
Like, Caitlin Clark could be returning this week after all.
Indiana Fever have officially released Kyra Lambert, a guard from overseas who Stephanie White signed on a trust me bro recommendation.
Caitlin Clark return is sooner rather than later.